In this video we're going to look at some extra examples. So I'm on 4.4, graphing when in point slope form, extra examples. So again, that main idea is this whole identifying. So we know we're trying to identify pieces from this equation. And the key idea that we need to keep in mind is that opposite idea. That's what helps us find our x1 and our y1. So let's look at this equation. Y minus 2 equals 2/5 parentheses x plus 1. So I'm just following my steps where I want to identify ID the point x1 y1. So we'll use that opposite idea. So I'm looking for the opposite of -2. And this is my y1 using my equation y minus y1, so y minus our y1. So the opposite of -2 would be +2. And then I'll do this opposite idea again. And that would be my x1 equals -1. So I found my point to be -1, comma 2. My x1 and my y1. Now let's identify the slope. Well, the slope, our m value, comes right before our parentheses. So I have this fraction right here. So there's my slope right there. So now we have m equals 2/5. Now we have all the pieces we need to graph. I plot my point, I apply my slope, so we found out we have our point, we have our slope, we're ready to graph. So I'll start by plotting my point, -1, comma 2. So we'll go -1, up 2. So I'm just plotting that point first. Now we'll apply the slope to change in y over change in x. So I'll go up 2. Here's my change in y. And then my change in x is 5. So I'll go over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my second point. And then connect the dots. Like that. Let me move this since my line's going through it. This point is -1, comma 2. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's do y plus 3 equals 4 parentheses x minus 2. So if you want, you can try this one on your own right now, and then we'll go through it together. So if you're going to try it on your own, go ahead and pause right here, and then we'll work through it together. Okay, so hopefully you took the chance or the opportunity to try this on your own. Let's look at it together using our ideas. So the first thing we want to do is identify our point. So remember, we take the opposite. So the opposite of +3 would be my -3. So y1 equals the opposite. So that'd be -3. opposite for my x value, and that would be x1 equals, well, the opposite of a negative 2 is going to be positive 2. So we have our x1 comma y1 is going to be 2 comma negative 3. Found our point. Now the next thing we want to do is identify our slope. Well, that's the number that comes before my parentheses, in front of my parentheses. So here's my slope. And I'll say m equals 4, but when we're talking about slopes and graphing, we need to write it as a fraction. So I would say 4 over 1. Now let's graph it. We start with a point, then we apply the slope. Start at a point, apply a slope. We'll start at the point 2, negative 3. So I go over 2, 1, 2, down 3, 1, 2, 3. There's my first point. Now we'll apply the slope. Change in y, 4 over change in x, 1. So we'll go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my change in y. And then we'll go right 1, change in x is 1. There's my second point. Now that we have 2 points, we connect the dots and we have a line. Like so. There's our line. So the key is really this identifying piece. Can we identify our point given this equation? Can we identify the slope given this equation? Once you identify everything, we plot a point, we use the slope, we draw a line. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.